headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. I'm your host, Jade Warshaw. I am joined by best-selling author George Kamel in the house. Woo! Today, also this afternoon, we'll be taking calls about your life and your money. So give us a call. The number is 888-825-5225, and we will chop it up together. We'll help you find a solution. Let's go straight to the phone lines where we have got Ashley in Jacksonville, Florida. What's going on, Ashley?
Hi. Oh my God. I don't know whether I was just thinking this. I don't know if I should be excited that I'm on this show or if I should be just disappointed, but here we are. So, I know. Thank you guys for taking my call. I really appreciate it. I am stuck in a little bit of a pickle, and I just, I've come up, since I've put in the request to be on the show, I've come up with a couple different options for myself, but I just want to kind of get y'all's opinion and see what the best option would be. But basically, my husband makes about $85,000 base salary a year. I made about $50,000 base salary. Well, he gets commission, so sometimes it's a little bit higher, maybe like up into the 110, but we've learned not to rely on any bonuses, so always go off of the base salary.
Yes, that's right.
Right. And then, so last year, we realized, we had a 2-year-old, and I took a year off. I was suffering severely from postpartum depression, and we accidentally kind of racked up a lot of money on our credit cards during that time.
Okay.
So now we're stuck at $35,000 on credit cards. And the interest is all the way up to 27% on a couple of them.
Oh. Yipes. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I had a plan, and you know what they say when you have a plan, right? Like throw it out the window, because that is not what's going to happen. Let me just say, because we owned our home. We bought our home in 2021. We had about $75,000 of equity in it.
Okay.
So we put it on the market 3 months ago, and we sold it, and we got the $75,000. And I thought we were going to be, pay off the credit cards, and we're good now.
What did you do?
What did I do? I didn't do anything. So, it happened for a reason, and I believe that God had me. I've been married for 5 years. I've been with my husband for 8.
Well, tell us what happened.
He accidentally gambled a lot of money, and we lost a lot of money.
How much? All of it?
$25,000 he lost.
So now you got 50.
Well, I paid off. So I didn't know that it's March Madness. I didn't know that it was going on. He was in a really bad spot mentally. He's doing a lot better. He's in therapy. He's doing everything to fix this. He feels absolutely terrible about it. Of course, everything. Regardless, I was also terminated from my job last month.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me recap right quick. In case, let me just recap. So you went back to work. You were still making 50. Now you've been let go from that position or laid off. So that 50,000 is gone. Were you able to take any of the money from the sale of the house and pay off the 35,000 of credit cards?
Unfortunately, I was trying to get it consolidated before I paid it off. So I was literally calling the collections.
I just want to know, did you get any of it paid off?
No.
Okay. And have you acquired more debt since then? I want to have a full picture of this. So the only debt in the world that you have is these credit cards for $35,000. Is that correct? No cars?
And $11,000 of student loans.
And $11,000 of student loans. Any cars?
We have a lease ending next year, but we own our other vehicle.
Okay. I want to caution you from this point on. I heard the word accidentally 2 times. We accidentally, I had the baby, was feeling postpartum depression. We accidentally ran up $35,000 on a credit card. My husband accidentally gambled away $25,000. Okay. Right. These are things that,
are not accidents.
I wouldn't call them accidents, George.
He intentionally gambled this amount of money.
For sure.
He lost control.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was 10 days after I lost my job, and his brother and him like talk about, I made $3,500 a night, and he was looking at it like maybe I can recoup some of her losses.
And that right there, that's the problem, because you guys looked at this debt. You keep finding quick ways out. You're like, we have $35,000 of debt. Let's sell the house. We'll take that equity. But wait, before we do that, let's try to consolidate it. And before we do that, let's try to gamble and see if we can get some money back. I feel like you guys are trying to take a shortcut, and each time it's ending in like major disaster. Like this is
and so far I'm not feeling a lot of responsibility taking on your part or your husband's part. It's been like, well, we had a plan, but then life no, you chose to do the consolidation. You chose to get that lease. You chose to gamble away $25,000. And I'm not doing this as a judgment because I want to beat you up. I'm saying this because we have to own our decisions and realize that life isn't happening to us. We're going to start happening to it.
That's right.
So are we done making excuses? Are we done with the bad decisions?
Oh, absolutely. And I definitely, this is why I called him. My husband instantly said, he goes, you know that they're mean, right? And I said, great, we're financially abusing our credit cards. We're financially irresponsible. We have no budget. We have no sense of direction. And I need help.
You guys
we
are
need
treating
to click y'all's heads together.
Yeah,
That's
y'all
right.
are treating yourselves way worse than we could ever treat you.
That's true.
We care about your financial future more than you do. We want to see you win, and there's a way out of this. Number one, is he in Gamblers Anonymous right now?
He's in therapy. He hasn't started any support groups just yet.
Is it helping? I mean, you said that he was gambling March Madness, so it's only been, what, a month?
Yeah.
But this is not the first time this man has gambled.
It isn't, but it's always been like maybe $200-$300, and it's always been like with me or like of my knowledge. But this time he did it.
As far as you know.
It was a huge betrayal. We're in marriage counseling. We're in individual therapy. I'm at this point now because of how long it's been. I've had the time to go through all of the emotions. So I think now, instead of being like, taking ownership of this because I didn't have a play in that aspect of it, I messed up. I was, women can't win. We stay home with our babies and we can't afford it.
You can win. You can win. You can win. I don't want you making any more excuses. What I want you from this point on, I want you to take responsibility, like George said, and we're going to give you a plan to walk out of this. Right now, your A1 is you're looking for new employment. Whatever you were doing before, let's look in that market and see if you can make $50,000 again or higher. Take this as an opportunity to bring in more income. With your husband, he needs to be, if $85,000 is the base salary, he needs to be going bananas
double that
to get
commission.
Those bonuses. Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. And at this point, you guys are walking through the baby steps. We teach it here all the time. Baby step 1, put $1,000 aside. Do you guys have any money saved anywhere besides the $50,000?
15,000. That's it. That's all we have left.
15 or 50?
15.
15. Okay, so we're taking that. We're putting $1,000 aside. That's your emergency fund, and then you're taking the rest. You're paying off that student loan today. Today you're paying it off. And then you're taking whatever's left and we're going to start knocking out these credit cards little by little. We don't need to consolidate it. We don't need to call anybody to do anything for us. You guys need to methodically,
more shortcuts.
Methodically take that margin every single month and put it towards that credit card. We're going to get you set up with every dollar so that you can budget as effectively as possible. And listen, today's the day they draw a line in the sand, George.
Life's not going to just happen to you anymore. You're going to happen to it.
That's exactly right. This is The Ramsey Show.
Statistics show that half of Americans don't have enough life insurance, or they don't have any at all. I don't understand this, John. Why don't people want to take care of their family? They think they're going to die or something?
Well, I used to be one of those guys. I didn't even think about it. And one of my buddies said, hey, the only reason to not have life insurance is if you hate your wife and kids. And I immediately went and got term life insurance.
That's a gut punch.
And you're telling me, and for decades, Dave, I've sat across people who've lost a spouse. They've lost somebody important to them.
Me too.
They don't know what to do next.
Me too. I mean, you're going to have a crisis here. And, you got two options while you're sitting and talking to a young widow. She's concerned about how she's going to invest all this money properly and not mess this up, or she's concerned how she's going to eat tomorrow.
That's exactly
These are the
right.
two options.
And
take care of your dadgum family, man.
Term life insurance can replace income, pay off debts, cover funeral expenses, so your family can actually have the opportunity to just be sad.
Yeah.
To just miss you.
That's exactly what it's supposed to be. It's saying I love you to your family. Term life insurance. Jeff Zander and the team at Zander Insurance makes it easy and affordable. I've used them personally for 25 years. They're the only people I trust. Go to Zander.com or call 800-356-4282.
You're listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm your host, Jade Warshaw, joined by George Kamel. Hey, the Live Like No One Else cruise is back.
Hey, don't call it a comeback.
I'm calling it a comeback,
Fine.
George. It came all the way back from 2020. Some of you remember we tried to do this back in the day, and the virus had another plan, and now you can't keep a good cruise down, George.
You can't keep us at bay, literally.
Hey, that's good. That's good.
They should have used that in the marketing, guys.
They should have. Listen, this is your chance. Don't miss the boat. How about that one?
Ooh.
Just saying. All right. Join Dave and all the Ramsey personalities. I'm talking about you, George, me, the Big Eagle himself, Rachel Cruz, Ken Coleman, John Deloney. Did I get everybody? We're all going to be at sea March 22nd to 29th. The Live Like No One Else cruise. This is what it is. And so for those of you who are on baby step 4 or above, this is the ultimate debt-free celebration. And I stress, George, baby step 4 or above, because if you're in baby step 2, we don't want to see you on this cruise because we want you paying off your debt instead. Is that right?
Yeah, this is honor system. We have no way to officially pull your credit report to make sure you don't have debt.
I'll be there doing that.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I'll be checking
before
everybody
you get on board. But this is gonna be. We got some special guests.
Man,
we got some cool friends. Stephen Curtis Chapman, Stephen Bargatze, Nate Bargatze's dad, doing magic and comedy.
Sweet.
Dina Carter, Carolyn Xavier, another great comedian. Win and Phil, songwriters of some of the biggest country hits you've ever heard. The behind the scenes guys. So this is gonna. Manit Chauhan as well.
I love Manit. I love anything cooking
Food
related.
Network star and wonderful
Apparently,
chef,
yeah. Apparently, she'll be doing some food demonstrations. That's
why
great.
I'm going.
Listen, I'm going because of the locations. We're going to Turks and Caicos, St. Thomas, San Juan, the Bahamas. Listen, you do not want to miss this. Man, the tickets are going so fast. We started posting about this last week, and the tickets started just zooming. Again, we tried to do this in 2020, and it sold out in a couple of weeks. And so now that we're bringing it back, these cabins are getting booked up with the
there's
quickness.
more demand. Think about it. In the last 5 years, how many people have gotten out of debt, got the emergency fund, began investing? So there's even more demand now.
That's a
people
good
saying,
point, George.
I wanted to go, now I can go.
That's a very good point. So just know VIP upgrades are already sold out, and the suites are almost sold out too. So trust me, as someone who worked on cruise ships for 10 years, you need to get these tickets because you want to get the good. Get you a room with a balcony, with a window. You know what I'm saying, George? That's what you need.
Get that good room.
Book your cabin at RamseySolutions.com/cruise. That's RamseySolutions.com/cruise. Do it today. Ooh, I'm excited. Let's go straight to the phone lines where we've got Jerry in San Jose, California. By the way, if you want to call us, the number's 888-825-5225, and we'll hook you up. Jerry, what's going on, buddy?
Well, Sir George and Madam Jade, thank you for taking my call. I appreciate it.
You bet.
Thank you.
Of course. So here's the deal. My wife and I, we are having a difficult time trying to decide between living close to our aging parents, even though it means that we kind of have limited income opportunities and even more expensive housing, versus moving further away to kind of improve our income and maybe even find better housing opportunities.
Okay. Where do your parents live?
Sorry, go ahead.
Where do your parents live that it's more expensive and less opportunity housing-wise?
Well, so Central Valley of California, I'm sure you're probably already aware, housing is somewhat expensive in the state, and we do okay, but we're getting to the point where we're having a tough time making the ends meet.
Okay, so you're already there.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's a matter of staying there versus moving somewhere that makes more economical sense for you.
That is correct.
Is this both sets of parents?
No, sir. My my set of parents are really my mother. She does not live in California, so that makes it easier.
Where does she live?
And challenging at the same time.
Are you trying to, is the other option moving by where she is? That's what I'm trying to clarify.
I see. Well, the option we're considering is either A, living kind of halfway between her parents and my mother, or just moving where we could get the best income,
Where does your mother live?
My mother, she lives in Denver, Colorado.
Oh, boy.
Okay. It's two very high markets. Okay.
I don't know if this is even a possibility, but I'm throwing it out there. Can they move closer to wherever you land?
Well, that is actually, that's a great question. So my mother has expressed the possibility of doing that. She said, wherever you guys end up, I'll come and move next to you guys. I think the challenge is with my wife's parents. They're not quite as willing to move, and that's where the rub lies. Yeah.
What is the nature of their care? Are they actually in poor health right now?
No. Not
They're doing
in poor
great
health at all. They are in their 80s, but they're in very good shape for being in their 80s.
I don't see why you couldn't just move further away and visit when you need to, and if things take a turn, you can always reassess.
Yeah. I think that's kind of where we are leaning. I guess for me, the concern was, let's say we take off, we do our thing, and then, her, mom or dad starts going downhill. And so there's the possibility that, my wife might be living, months, hopefully not over a year, but, just taking care of them while I'm holding down the fort.
Is that the plan that as they get older, you guys would be primary care providers?
Yeah, I think so. That's kind of the assumption. It's kind of like, what we thought we would be doing.
Well, I would definitely, instead of assuming that, I would definitely speak with them and find out what they have in place. They might have long-term care insurance. They might have something in place or have an alternate plan since, they're the people that are in question here. So I would definitely speak with them and find out. And that way you guys can make a plan together that makes sense. Yeah. And honestly, as the caretaker, you guys are, I'm trying to say this delicately, it's your time and resource and effort. So in many ways, it might make sense for them to come where you are so that you can afford to take care of them. Because living in, Central Valley and also having to take time off from work, these are all things that you guys are going to have to consider in order to make this work. So I kind of probably just threw another set of variables in there, but.
Yeah, honestly, I think you have well spoken, Jade. That's also kind of what's been coming up in the conversations between my wife and I. She's actually not too far away from me, and she is confirming. She's saying that is the expectation of her parents. That we kind of be there for them. So
then I think the next set of conversations, and George, you can jump in here. I think the next set of conversations is you getting with them and saying, here's where we're at. The assumption is that we're going to take care of you guys as you continue to age, and we're happy to do that. But in order for us to do that, it's got to work out for us financially so that when the time comes for us to retire, we're also, in a advantageous position.
Yeah, that's the big caveat here is I don't want you guys to have your financial goals held back because you're taking care of the parents, and then one day you wake up and go, well, crap, we're still broke. And we had nothing to show for all of our hard work. So if they have a big nest egg, I'd rather see them get, quality in-home care if that's the option. But at least roll out all the options, put all the cards on the table, and then make a decision when the time comes versus what could be 5 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Either way, I think that you guys have to get to a place that is sustainable for your lifestyle, for you to be able to live and have a home and take care of yourselves. That's a big, big piece of this puzzle.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, and I think that's like you said, it's just becoming more and more apparent that has to be our focus if we want to, make anything of ourselves and for our future generations.
How old are you, Jerry?
39.
39? Okay, and what's you guys' financial outlook? Do you have debt? Are you doing well?
So we do have debt. Actually, it's so funny. We were doing pretty good on the Ramsey program, but I got a little dumb and I got a car loan for a car. But I know.
You said this was funny, Jerry.
Listen, from here on out, I want you guys working the baby steps. Yes, mom and dad, you need to think about what the future holds from them. But A1, Jerry, is you and your wife getting your financial situation in order. And that means paying off this debt and, hey, never get a car loan again. No more car loans.
Put your financial mask on first, buddy.
I know, that's right. Yes, that's a good analogy, George.
And give me a better punchline next time. That was not that funny.
This is The Ramsey Show.
If you're like most people, your home is your most valuable asset. And when you want to make improvements, it can feel like everything costs too much or takes too long. But something as simple as custom window coverings from Blinds.com can completely change your space and add value to your home. We've recommended Blinds.com for over a decade, so you know you can trust them. From blinds, drapes, and shutters to motorized shades, they make it easy and affordable to upgrade your entire home, and their team is ready to help with everything from design consultation to measuring and installation. Plus, there are never any misleading quotes or hidden fees. Everything's backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee, and shipping is always free. See why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Visit Blinds.com to get up to 45% off. That's Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Hey, you're listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm your host, Jade Warshaw. I'm joined by your other host today. His name is George Kamel. He is a best-selling author of Breaking Free from Broke. I should say it the right way.
It's active, I guess.
It's active. We're breaking free from broke. It's a great book. You should pick one up if you haven't. And if you want to give us a call, the number is 888-825-5225. We'd be happy to take calls and discuss your life and your money. That's what this show is all about. And with that, we're going to go straight to the phone line and talk to Chase, who's in Orlando, Florida. What's going on, Chase?
Hey, guys. So how are you doing today?
We're doing great. How can we help?
Yes. So I just, finished up baby step number 3, which is I did 1 year of a fully funded emergency fund just because I'm a little bit paranoid. But
okay.
So basically, I'm still step 4, step 5 done working on. But what I'm struggling with is step 6, paying off my home early.
Okay.
So essentially, I have $500 a month to play with. I only owe $107,000 left on my mortgage. And to me, I think that I'm ready to build wealth and start investing that $500 versus paying down my home's equity. So I'm just calling in to kind of get a little insight on what I should do.
And you're already investing your 15%, correct, off your gross?
Correct, into my employer's 401k.
So tell us why you're struggling with doing all 3 simultaneously. Because we found that people who walk the baby steps, when they embrace this method, most people pay off their home within 7 to 10 years, and we've done the largest study of millionaires that there are, and we have found that most millionaires, 67% of millionaires, have paid for homes that they paid off, and it makes up about 1/3 of their investment portfolio as a whole. The other 2/3 goes towards, their employer-based retirement accounts, or if they have Roth IRAs, that sort of thing.
Gotcha. I guess my big thing is I know my house isn't going to be, it's kind of at its max equity in my opinion, because it's not in the nicest area or anything like that. So paying that off quickly versus having the money invested, I feel like the money invested, I get a bigger ROI in my investment long term.
What's your mortgage rate?
My mortgage rate is 3.25%.
Okay. And you're saying I'd rather invest that extra $500 instead of paying down this 3.25% mortgage?
Correct.
And
yeah,
what would you invest it
right
in?
Now, my mortgage payment right now is only $800 a month, and that's including escrow.
And what's your income?
My income is about $65,000 to $70,000 a year, depending on commissions.
Okay.
Oh, and how old are you? Sorry, one more question.
27.
Okay.
So the truth is, you're going to become a millionaire regardless of what you do if you just consistently invest and never go into debt again. So what you're trying to do here is you're saying, I want to build wealth faster in the short term, maybe, because you're also speculating that your investment will make more than your forced pay down of 3.25%.
Right.
So what would you invest it into?
Some kind of mutual fund that's tracking the top companies.
Okay. And how long would you leave that money in there?
Since I'm only 27, probably till I'm in retirement age.
Okay. Well, the other piece is, what if we could free up that mortgage payment you're making? Or at least most of it, aside from property taxes and insurance. How much is actually going to principal and interest out of that payment?
So the payment's $880 a month. 700 of it is going to principal and interest. So the other 180 goes to my insurance and taxes.
That feels real low. But okay. So let's imagine you freed up $700 in the next few years by aggressively paying down the mortgage.
That's $1,200 you could be investing.
That's serious.
Right.
And you're also not taking into account that the mutual fund could go up and down over time, and you're going to be watching that money, and you're counting on the spread to happen. And so at the end of the day, you might make some money, you might not, but I would rather see you be free psychologically, emotionally, and financially by paying off the mortgage.
Yeah, that's a big part of this that I think you can't factor into an equation is the peace that you feel when you pay off a mortgage.
Because you just told me you were paranoid to the fact that you have a year of emergency fund, but you're not paranoid about owing $107,000 to a lender who could take away your home if something happened.
I can see how that's contradicting for sure.
So if I'm you, if you're truly paranoid, then I would want to see you pay off your house super fast.
Mm-hmm. And if you hated the way it felt, then you could always borrow against it and get a mortgage again. But no one ever does because they love living in a paid-for home.
Yeah, definitely. I just got to get over the fact that I'm no longer seeing any type of account grow, because what I liked about the emergency fund is I'm seeing that account grow.
You are seeing 15%.
Balances grow.
You are seeing it grow. I think people forget, like every time you pay off your mortgage, that's money back in your pocket. Every time you make payments, it's money back in your pocket. It's
you're not
forced
losing
savings,
that equity,
and it's equity.
And even if you're not in a great area, you still could build another $107,000 in equity. Your house isn't going down in value.
No,
unless you live in a mobile home.
Do you?
Right. I do actually. Yes.
Then your house is going down in value.
Going down in value. You should have listen. You should have told us that from the jump, Chase. Let's re-talk about this because, I don't necessarily like the idea of you staying in a home in quotes that's going down in value.
Regardless of pay it off early or not, you need to get out of this mobile home.
And the good news is you've got a bunch of money sitting there. You've got 6 months of savings that you don't necessarily need. You could put that towards a down payment if you wanted to, since you oversaved.
Yeah, and in my opinion, I'm on a good sized lot, so I could probably sell it for like $225, $230.
So you would walk away with $100,000 in equity?
Oh, yeah, about that or more.
And that's the move. If I'm you, by the way, what do you have saved? Tell me how much you had.
In my emergency savings, I have $20,000, but then in my retirement accounts, I have $70,000.
So the $20K, that's your 1 year of saved expenses?
Yeah, because my expenses just total $1,500 a month.
Okay.
Times 12 is only $18,000.
Then I changed my advice. I changed my advice. I would not touch that because I think wherever you're moving to next, $20K is probably going to cover you for 3 to 6 months. But I would get out of this mobile home and I would try to recoup whatever you can and get as much value out of it while you still can. But you're right. Staying in it, you're just losing money hand over fist month by month.
I've never seen a millionaire say the key to becoming wealthy was I got in a mobile home and the payment I would have paid, I put into investments. I think you're going to be wealthy, and I don't think this strategy is going to have anything to do with it.
And then I think you're going to feel way better about paying off said mortgage because it's actually going to be a mortgage that actually does go up in value and you can buy in a better neighborhood. Now what you were saying makes a lot more sense for George and I, but I think that's definitely going to be the move going forward. Ooh, that was different.
We got there.
All right, let's try to talk to let's see, Sarah real quick. She's in Charleston, South Carolina. What's going on, Sarah?
Hi, Hi, I'm doing good. I had a question about whether or not we should save for a house in about 2 years and buy, or if we should just invest that into our IRA.
Okay, well, let's find out if you're in the position to do either. Do you guys have any debt?
No, so we're on baby step 4-ish.
Perfect.
We have no debt at all. We have 2 fully paid off cars. We have $70K in CDs and thoughts with a high APY.
Okay.
We have $5K in our checkings. We have $55K in our savings. We have $14K in a Roth IRA for myself, and then my husband's IRA, his work is matching. We have $48K.
Okay.
And we were doing 10%, and I wanted to increase that to 15%.
Yeah. So technically, you guys are on baby step 3B or baby step 4. It's up to you. Okay. You can do one before the other. Like if you say, you know what, for now, we're going to stop investing and we're just going to save up our down payment. You can do that. If you think that you can save the down payment in 2 to 3 years, you could make that move. If you think it's going to take longer than 2.5, 3 years, then I would say start to invest some so that you don't lose out on that time. But, you've got 70,000 in CDs. When do they mature?
In between a year and 10. Some of them are 12 months. Some of them are 5. Some of them are 2.
Well, then I would...
think the longest one was 10.
Okay. Well, that gives you a little bit more time to save up to see what you can afford. Use the calculator on RamseySolutions.com, how much house can I afford, and start running those numbers to see what you need. And I think at this point, it's really just truly up to you guys.
Yeah, the key is how urgent is this home purchase? You can invest anywhere from 0 to 15% while you save up that down payment quickly. That's how to think about it.
Love it. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, Ramsey Solutions started small and grew fast. Because of that rapid growth, there were times when our systems slowed us down. That's why we switched to NetSuite. It works for us and it'll help your business too. Whether you're starting on a card table like I did, or you're well on your way to becoming a multi-million-dollar company, NetSuite can scale with you and help you communicate and plan better. Because you know your day-to-day up and down and sideways, but accounting, analytics, and supply chain are on another level. So maybe you're just not tech savvy. That can be okay. NetSuite will help at your speed and whatever your situation. More than 37,000 companies use NetSuite to know their numbers and their business better. So check out NetSuite today and find out how they can help you become the business you want to be 5 or 30 years from now. And right now, you can download NetSuite's free KPI checklist designed to give you consistently excellent performance at netsuite.com/Ramsey. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey.
You're listening to The Ramsey Show. If you've got questions about your money, we've got answers. I'm Jade Warshaw, your host. George Kamel is your host today as well. And if you have a question, you can call in. The number is 888-825-5225. And a nice gentleman will pick up and screen your call. And if he sees fit, you will make it to the airwaves. That's how this works. We're going to go to the phone lines. We've got Ashley in Fort Worth, Texas. What's going on, Ashley?
Hello. Thank y'all so much. I'm so excited and nervous all at the same time.
Don't worry. We won't hurt you.
Okay, I hope not. It's embarrassing a little bit, some of the stuff I'm going to tell you. But I've been listening to the show for like 30 days, and I finished reading Total Money Makeover. My husband and I are both high earners, but have made a lot of really stupid decisions with the money that we've been blessed to make up to this point. So since I've been listening, I've paid off about $40,000 in debt, which is my student loan, and then a small equity line that we had on our home, which was really kind of silly that we had it, but it was just this little pet, as y'all said, that we just kept there because it was a low payment and didn't really seem like much of anything, but we've paid that off. We don't really have any other debt other than our vehicles and our home.
What are the vehicles?
So we both owe about $50,000 on our car, so $100 total.
Ooh.
102.
Y'all driving some nice whips.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've made, we've bought new cars every couple of years. We've just rolled a bunch of negative.
If it's over $50K, it's a whip, Jade. I've learned that.
Yeah, okay, I'm with it. So, you said you're high earners. Can I just know, what do you guys earn combined a year?
Yeah. After we pay, the IRS, their pound of flesh, about $750 would be our combined take home.
Mamacita.
What do you guys do for a living?
We're both work in sales and leadership positions.
Very cool.
Well, you're crushing it. You guys are rock stars in that regard.
We're hustling.
And the good news is you can get rid of these cars probably like today. How much do you have in savings?
We had about $300. We just struck the IRS a fat check, so $300 after that.
And
wow.
that's non-retirement, right? That's non-retirement.
That's non-retirement.
Sweet.
What are y'all saving for? An apocalypse?
Listen, George, anything can happen.
I guess.
Wouldn't shock me in Texas. They're always prepared over there.
Sitting there.
Well, why don't we pay off the cars today?
Yeah, what's stopping you?
I guess just the fear of not having the cash sitting there. I don't know.
You'll have $200,000 left over, and you'll make another $200,000 in the next few months.
I know.
Where's this fear come from? I think we need to address that.
Well, let's see. What's your monthly budget? Like, what's it take to make your lifestyle tick each month? So
that's been the fun part about this whole thing is we never really had a budget, and we had credit cards, and we would just pay them off every month without really even looking at it, which is silly now that I've listened to y'all. But we've gotten rid of all of our credit cards, and we actually sat down and made a budget together.
Good.
And with investing, savings, and giving combined, we can live really, really well for about $28,000 a month, which if you do
I
the
would
math
hope
on
so.
Yeah, I mean, that's investing 15% in addition to what the company matches for my husband and is already taking out and all of that.
What's your mortgage payment?
It's $3,200, and that has our taxes rolled into it. Yeah, we have a 2.7% interest rate, so super low.
Is it a 15-year or 30-year?
It's a 30-year.
Okay. So honestly, with your mortgage, that's very frugal for what you're earning. If I were you, my goals would be, like George said, I'm paying off these vehicles today, paying off these whips today, like George said.
Thank you, Jade.
Yes, you're welcome. And then, keep doing your investing, your 15% plus. And then my next goal is, what do you owe on the house?
So that was another question I had. We owe about $462, if I'm being exact. But we could sell it for $1,050,000. So we have really great equity sitting in this home.
That's awesome.
Do you want to sell it?
A little bit of a remodel. I mean, I love to move. But I don't know that that's always the best choice.
Well, it's not about best. I mean, you guys make great money.
Afford.
You can stay in this house. I don't want to do it just because there's equity there. I want you to move because you want to move, and it's the right thing for you guys. So you're going to sell it. You get $1 million. You take the equity from that. You'd roll it over to the next house. Is that the goal? And you want to stay in Texas?
Well, that would be my thing. Is we could pay cash for a new home and have absolutely zero debt.
Sure, but you could also, if we're going to be real, you could pay off your mortgage this year.
That's also true.
So to me, that's not the deal breaker of we could pay cash. Well, you could pay it off in the next year, making $750. Yeah. So I'm not concerned either way. But if you're going to filter this through the baby steps, we pay off the cars. You still have $200K. That's plenty emergency fund. Continue to invest 15% of your amazing income. Mm-hmm. You'd probably run out of spots to do it and go to a brokerage account eventually.
That's right.
And then anything left over, let's just attack the house with.
Do you have kids?
I do. We have 2 kids.
2 kids. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
2 kids, 4 and 14, and we have college funds set up for them, and then just little like custodial brokerage accounts set up for them.
Listen,
for the future.
I love George's plan. I endorse that. I co-sign that plan. I I think for you guys, the hardest part is you make so much money, it could be easy to get sloppy because it's like, it feels like it's easy to clean up a mess because there's a lot of extra cash sitting there. So I think for you guys, the discipline is going to be, we are on a budget. No matter what, we get to decide what the budget says, but we follow a budget and we create a plan for our money.
10 grand of fun money in a line item for you guys.
Yeah.
Who knows? But without making that budget, you're going to wake up and go, where did all of our money go? Good. We spent $60,000 on a credit card this month. And that's why I love you cut up the cards, you're sticking to your own money, you're making the budget, and then you can have your fun in the plan.
That's right.
It's freedom to spend.
Freedom to spend. All right, real quick, let's go to Tommy. He's right here local in Nashville, Tennessee. What's going on, Tommy?
Hi there. I have 2 quick questions for you guys. They're not quick, but they could be quick.
Well, we'll make them quick. We got about 3 or 4 minutes.
But long story short, I have done the baby steps, and I kind of fell off the wagon. So I did the first 3, and we have no debt, and we're a single-income household. So the issue kind of is during baby step 2 and 3, where I have side jobs, my wife's home with the kids, and, hustling to make it happen. Now that has happened, I stopped contributing to my retirement account during that time. It's been a few years now, and now we kind of just we're kind of at a set point of our budget. We don't really have extra to go back to that. We've had 2 more children since then, and just life is just there. So
yeah,
I'm not just counting on a bonus and a raise in the future, which I am counting on in the next year or 2.
What's your income?
But I'm not counting on that. About 100 to 105.
Okay.
Are the kids in daycare?
No, they're all at home with mommy.
Okay. And what are you investing right now? 15%?
No, so we're not right now.
You can't financially?
So when I have every dollar, so I'm doing all right. But when I am putting all the apps, putting everything into an envelope, I have about $500 or $600, which would be about there. But then that always gets consumed. I end up transferring it back from savings at some point.
But if you're investing, that's coming out of your check before you ever see it.
No, I'm not investing.
He had paused it to pay off the debt, and now they're realizing they don't feel like they have the margin.
There's
Let me
something
ask you
eating up this $100,000.
What's your mortgage payment every month?
About $1,900 something, so $2,000.
Well,
so
that
$2,000. That shouldn't be it.
You have some massive expense in your budget that we don't know about.
Because if you don't have daycare,
we have no debt, so no daycare. I think the mortgage is the biggest one, but we're gonna sit down, get back on.
But you're probably bringing home what, $6,000 a month?
About $6,000, yeah.
So where does the other $4,000 go? Even food and insurance, utilities, all that.
Probably close to $800 to $1,000.
We're not even halfway there.
Insurance.
When you went through your budget, what was the biggest line item besides rent? Because for most people, it's daycare or school tuition. If you don't have that, what was your second biggest line item? You should know that off the top of your head. And if you don't, that's where the problem is. Here's the thing, folks. You got to know how much money you make, and you got to know at least off the top 3 most expensive line items in your budget. If you don't know that, that's your homework for tonight. You should know it's rent, it's daycare, and then it's if it's your car payment or whatever that next thing is. That way you know where your money's going. Those are those top 3 things. Make sure you do your homework tonight, folks. This is The Ramsey Show. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. I'm your host, Jade Warshaw, joined by your other host, best-selling author, George Kamel, in the place to be. We're taking your calls all afternoon long. The call is simple, 888-825-5225, and we'll get you hooked up with some advice about your life and your money. All right. Let's go straight to the phone lines, George.
I'm excited.
Let's go. We got Chelsea and Daniel. And let's kind of, before we go, let's kind of like frame this up a little bit. George, set the stage.
This is a segment we've done a few times, and I guess we call it Pick a Side. Is that right, Producer James? So a couple calls in, both of them on the line with a disagreement. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's lighthearted, sometimes it's a big, brawl debate.
Yeah.
And we just help them decide. And so Jade and I will cast our votes. I am Judge George. And we got Judge Jade.
All
which
right,
sounds way cooler.
I'm putting on my referee jersey, my whistle. I'm ready to get into it.
I was thinking more like the judge's robe and tiny gavel.
And a gavel.
Yeah.
Okay, you went law, I went sports.
I never go sports. I wanted to know that.
All right, let's check in with them. Chelsea and Daniel, can you hear us?
Yes,
sure can.
Hey.
All right, tell us what's going on.
So we disagree with what to do with, specifically in this case, $80,000. But in any situation where we get a tax return or a bonus, how we're going to use that money. And our disagreement today is that I would like to put it towards the house and pay off the house. And he would like to invest that money into the market. And our ultimate goal here is to build wealth so that we can live comfortably when we're old and our kids can, benefit from that eventually.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. So you guys are on baby steps 4, 5, and 6, yes?
Yes.
Okay, just to confirm, you sounded
that was not a confident yes.
That's okay. Do you guys have any debt whatsoever?
Our mortgage.
Just the mortgage, okay. And do you already have 3 to 6 months of expenses saved up?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah. So technically you're on baby steps 4, 5, and 6. Are you guys currently investing 15% of your gross income monthly?
I'm going to say yes. I'm pretty sure we are. We might be doing more than that.
A little more. Daniel, do you want to add something?
I think she's right. We haven't done the math, but I'm pretty sure it's around that, if not more.
Okay, cool.
And where did the $80K come from?
Shares of stocks from my company.
Okay.
So you bought some was this an employee stock purchase program?
No, it's like RSUs that you get as part of compensation.
So they vested and you sold them. Now you have $80K sitting in the bank.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Wonderful. Okay. Cool. And the discussion is, what is the best way to build wealth long term? And Daniel's saying, hey, I want to invest this money. It could grow to XYZ amount. And you're getting starry-eyed over those numbers. And Chelsea's security gland is flaring, going, it would be so nice to get this mortgage paid off.
What do you owe on that mortgage?
Exactly right. We owe $385,000.
Okay.
And what's your household income?
Around 4.
Wonderful.
400,000, sorry. Yeah.
Sweet.
Okay. And what is your end goal? Let's snap our fingers. You guys are older. Do you have a retirement plan? Is there a nest egg number that would really excite you?
I haven't invested a lot of thought in it, but $1 million would be nice just to I don't know.
Okay.
Enjoy the.
How old are you two?
However that grows. I'm 20. Oh boy, give me a second here. I think I'm 33. I think.
Okay.
Oh, you
guys are younger than me. Here's my thing. What if I told you if you guys just continue down this path, you're going to have between 5 and 10 million just sitting in one account?
Easy.
Either way, regardless of what happens. Regardless if you invest this money or you pay down the house first, you're going to have $5 to $10 million net worth.
If you just keep doing what you're doing.
Wow.
So when you put it that way, Daniel's going to get his wish because your wish is financial security. Chelsea's wish is financial security. And so what we're arguing about is the short term. And truthfully, you guys make $400K. What if we set an aggressive goal to pay down this mortgage? Let's say we used $80K. We paid it down to $300. We said, all right, over the next 2 years, we're going to pay down this mortgage. And after that, we're going to invest that mortgage payment to make Daniel happy for the foreseeable future. Do you see how that's a win-win?
Yeah.
It's kind of a win-win. My concern there is that's 2 years of not investing.
No, you're investing 15% of $400,000.
Okay.
Have you plugged that into an investment calculator lately,
We're not
Daniel?
saying don't invest and pay off the mortgage. We're saying invest 15% and whatever's left pay off the mortgage. And I would consider this $80,000 above and beyond your traditional income.
So just a little layout. Go ahead.
The point that we disagree on is
do we take the like quote unquote extra money, bonuses, RSU, stuff like that, that we get and invest it in the house, or invest it in like index funds,
right?
Or whatever form of stock market stuff? Based
on the way the baby steps work, which is what we teach here, baby steps 4, 5, and 6, you do them simultaneously. But the extra.
Are you getting this every year? This money?
A couple times a year, yeah.
Okay, so I would just consider it part of your household income. And so I think to make both of you happy, you can invest 15% of whatever your household income is. So let's say this $80K, we'll consider it part of your household income. Invest 15% of that.
That's a good way to look at it,
The rest we put
George.
toward the house.
Gotcha.
That's a good way to look at it because it comes every year. It's part of your normal income. It just comes later, basically. So I like that plan. But just so you're familiar with how the baby steps work is when you do 4, 5, and 6, 4 is you invest 15% of your gross. So to George's point, I love the idea of including this with that because it technically is your income. And then you get intentional about paying off your mortgage. And technically, we don't tell people to go above 15% until they've paid off their mortgage. So that's our plan here. And that's the plan that I would recommend and advise for you.
And can we do some fun math, Daniel, just to give you some peace?
Sure.
You're 33, right? Let's say you invest just 15%, no more. Everything else goes toward the house, even for the rest of your life, and you continue to make $400K. That's $60,000 a year, right?
Okay. Can you give me like the dumbed down math on how you got there?
Yes. So 400,000 times 15%, $60K. Divide that by 12. You'd be investing $5,000 a month. You said you're 33, right?
Okay. Yep.
Let's say you keep investing $5,000 a month into retirement accounts, you name it, brokerage accounts, $5,000 a month till you're 60. Even with an 8% return, which is modest,
low.
That's $5.7 million if you started from zero today. And our team just put it on the screen if you're watching on YouTube. Good math, my guys in the booth. So, Daniel, just to give you some peace, even if you started from scratch today with this income, you would have $6 million in that account.
And that's assuming you never make more money and never invest more than $5,000 a month, which is obviously not going to be the case.
With a 10% return, you're talking $8 million. And you can adjust for inflation, and all the nerds can come at me. I'll be okay with 4 million, 5 million, 8 million, 10 million. All that to say, your dream was $1 million. And I just showed you how, regardless of how you get there, you're going to be much higher than that. So, real nerdy fun discussion. But as far as picking a side, I'm going Team Chelsea, and I'm paying off the house. But really, we're splitting the difference. We're investing and paying off the house.
Put that gavel down.
That's it. Judge George has ruled.
Listen, I'm right there with you, but I think I'm just the bailiff in this case. The verdict is... Say it.
Chelsea.
There you go.
You are not guilty.
This is The Ramsey Show.
Your home is probably the biggest purchase you'll ever make. And with the real estate market like it is now, you'll need a mortgage company you can trust. That's Churchill Mortgage. You guys, buying a home is not a button push. It's a process. It takes building a relationship with an expert who will dig into the details and give you peace of mind without busting your budget. Churchill is one of the highest rated lenders in the country. And they're Ramsey trusted because they do what's right for you. Go to churchillmortgage.com to get started.
To The Ramsey Show. I'm your host, Jade Warshaw. Your other host today is George Kamel, and I'm actually excited, George, that we're hosting together, especially talking about this brand new upcoming event that we have. It's Dave Ramsey's Investing Essentials, and George, you're going to be a big part of this.
Yes, this is a virtual event, so you can join us wherever you are, and this is really a deep dive on investing. This is something that our fans and audience have been asking for. They're saying, hey, what's Dave's real playbook. Beyond just baby step 4, what are the actual mechanics of investing? What are the options out there? Even real estate investing. Dave's got a huge real estate portfolio. He's done it the right way. He's done it at the speed of cash.
That's right.
Which hurts people's brains. And so he's going to walk through how he buys real estate, the things he looks for. We're going to be walking you through not only retirement investing, but other options outside of retirement. What if you're self-employed? What if you're a high earner? What are your strategies to invest and retire early? So we're going to be talking about all of that. A 2-night virtual event happening May 21st and 22nd. It's online. You can watch from the comfort of your home. You just need to buy, if your spouse is going to join or you want to have a watch party with the boys, that's what I generally do. You just buy one ticket and you can join us for that.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I heard Dave talking about this the other week, and he said it's going to be like 101, 102, 103, all the way up to 104. And I think that's great because people definitely have different areas of interest, and they want to go as further than they've ever gone. So
it's like working out. You got to start with the low weight, slow reps, and then you get to my level.
Yeah.
You're benching 300.
Oh, wow. Okay, George.
No, I can't.
I'm trying to get on that level.
That's like 3 George Kamels. We can't do that.
I love this. For the first time, Dave is opening up his personal playbook on investing. You do not want to miss this. You're going to learn how to maximize your 401k and mutual funds. You're going to learn Dave's personal strategy for real estate investing and which investing trends to follow and which ones to avoid. Ooh. The tickets are $249. Again, this is a 2-night event. You're getting Dave Ramsey. You're getting George Kamel. You're getting all of this. If you're interested, go to RamseySolutions.com/events to get your tickets today.
Can't wait. It's about 4 hours of content over those 2 nights.
Listen, I'm going to be there. I'm logging on.
I'll be tuning in as well from inside the room. I'll be there live.
I love it. Let's go to Blake, who's in Louisville, Kentucky. What's going on, Blake?
Hey, thank you guys for taking my call. I've been a long-time listener, and I really appreciate it.
Awesome. How can we help today?
So I just had a quick question, and it's kind of a little bit of a debacle for me. We have a van that we had bought, me and my wife, whenever the height of the used vehicle market was insane. People were paying astronomical numbers for used vehicles, and I bought it based on the safety of my daughter, who at the time was only 8 months old, because the vehicle we had didn't have AC in the rear. Yeah. But down to the money, the part of it.
How much was the van?
So the van was $40,000.
Okay.
And we owe $32,115 on it still. Our monthly payment is $585.75.
Okay.
And I'm trying to see if I'm headed in the right direction here. I have a truck that I can sell right now for $10,000 to $11,000, and then I have a trailer, just one I can haul cars on and stuff, that I can sell for anywhere from $2,500 to $3,000.
Okay.
We also have $15,000 in savings, and I don't want to sell all of our vehicles because my wife is a stay-at-home wife and she needs them for our 2 kids. Well, I'm willing to sell everything. I know that's part of Dave Ramsey's baby steps, sell everything.
Well, if it makes sense. So the truck that's paid for, that's worth $10K, is that your daily driver?
No, I actually drive it. I'm fortunate enough to drive a company service truck.
Oh, nice.
Okay, that's good. And what about the trailer?
A lot of side work. The trailer is just something I had upgraded. It's just something I found on Facebook Marketplace years ago.
So you don't need it?
I don't, not necessarily. I mean, I do haul with it every once in a while, but not enough to keep it around.
You'll survive.
And the $15K, is that your 3 to 6 emergency fund, or is that what did you have that earmarked for? It was just money saved?
So I actually was heavily into sports cars a few years back, and I actually sold it because I realized it sat in the garage and it was unrealistic to keep.
Yeah.
So that was that money, and we turned that into our emergency fund, and it's actually we're not even able to touch it. Mm-hmm. So that's very important to us.
What do you mean by that?
You
can't touch it.
To the bank. We talked to the bank about not being able to. It requires me and my wife both to agree on moving that.
Okay.
What account is it in? What kind of account?
It's a savings account.
Okay, just a normal savings account, but with a little bit of lock and key.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Got it.
So you owe $32,000, a little over $32,000 on the van, and you're thinking, hey, if I sell all this, I can clear $27,000. Well, if you sell it plus add the savings to it, you're going to be able to clear at least $26,000 because I want you to keep $1,000 set aside.
Of course.
And that's the plan, right? You chuck that towards the van, and then you've just got a little left on it, right?
My thought was to sell the truck, sell the trailer, and then we would be roughly down to $20,000 on the van. and then actually sell it back to the dealership. They would take it off our hands, no questions asked, essentially. And I detail my vehicles like I'm a fiend about it, so they're consistently clean, and they love the fact that it's as clean as it is, so they're willing to give me that.
So you're just trying to get out of from being upside down.
Exactly, and I just don't want to sit on it anymore. I have a car that my grandma had gave us. My dad called it an heirloom.
What happened to this whole reliability story you gave to me?
He realized that it's not that big of a deal and that anything with AC will work.
What's your household income here?
So now that my wife stays home, she's 2 weeks home now as a stay-at-home mom. My take-home is it's $69,300. I think it's like $5,800 a month.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're $20,000 upside down. Is that what I'm getting?
Yes, and it's because we put so many miles on the van in such a short amount of time.
So if you sell the trailer and the truck, that only gets you $12,000. I'm sorry. So where's the rest coming from? Because you had said you didn't want to touch the savings.
Yes. So if we don't touch the savings, so we owe $32,000 on the van. If we take that $12,000 from the truck and the trailer, or the $2,500, that knocks the van down to $20,000.
You're saying you could sell it to the dealer for $20,000?
Roughly 18 to 20, and then now would it make sense to sell it back to them, even if they say, "Hey, look, we'll only give you 18 for it"?
I don't think it's worth getting rid of this thing. I feel like you should just keep it at that point.
Yeah, I'm trying to get out from under it, and I just didn't know if it was worth to keep it or to.
I mean, how quickly could you save up another $5,000?
We're actually, since she's only 2 weeks into being a stay-at-home mom, we're still trying to figure out how to re-budget everything because we lost about $2,000 a month in income.
The only reason that I might vote for you getting out of this is because it's a $40,000 vehicle and you make $69,000, and I'm guessing that with your
that's your take home, right?
Yes, that's my take home.
So what's your gross? What's your gross like on your tax return? Does it say 85? 90?
Roughly. I would have to go back and look. Yes.
Then it's up to you. You were out of bounds to go into debt for it, but you're not out of bounds to keep it and pay it off. It's up to you. If you're just like I hate the thought of this thing. I hate the sight of it because of what it's cost us, and you want to get rid of it and downgrade. I'm not mad at that, but just understand that you're going to have to come out of pocket at some point to get something. I know you said your grandmother has a vehicle. I don't know the state that's in, but knowing that you've got $15,000 to the side, it might be worth it for you to put some money with that and upgrade a little bit. It's up to you.
My fear, since you love cars and toys, that you go out and go, well, we lost that van. It was so reliable, and now this grandma's hoopty's not doing it, so now we got to go get another $50,000 car for reliability.
Well, you need to draw a line in the sand that you're not getting car loans anymore, right?
Nope, we're actually done with that. No, that's why I'm trying to figure out how to get out from under this, because I'm at the point, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired.
I would sell the truck and trailer, use most of the savings to pay this thing down, get rid of the payment, and then decide what you want to do with it. You probably will end up keeping it just because you've already done, the damage is done, the loan is gone, you freed up the $600 that you were paying on it. Yeah. That's going to help you in the future. But
George, how often do we get people who have rolled negative equity into vehicles, they end up upside down, and it's just they're trying to move heaven and high water to get out of these loans?
My guess is 90% of the callers with car loans are upside down in
100%.
In this market.
Yeah.
And it's one of the reasons I hate car loans so much. But the good news is you could sell it. You got,
Well, if you're looking for something to do with your tax return, a lot of y'all are upside down. That's what you could do with it. You could take it, finally get out of that loan that you've been paying $700 a month for. Just an idea. This is the Ramsey Show.
I want to stay right side up, Jade.
Hey guys, it's Rachel Cruz here to tell you about a faith-based alternative to health insurance that can make healthcare more affordable. Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM allows members to share each other's healthcare costs, and it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1, choose the healthcare provider you want. Step 2, submit your eligible bills. And Step 3, get reimbursed. CHM members take care of your eligible medical bills. With no networks and the freedom to choose your healthcare provider, CHM is the best option for Christians who want to take care of their families and help other believers. Find out more at chministries.org/budget.
You are listening to The Ramsey Show. Hey, thank you for listening to The Ramsey Show. You know, throughout the duration of the show, whoever we're hosting with, we all go out into the lobby of Ramsey Solutions. There's folks that come to visit from far and wide. We had a lot of folks today from the Minnesota area, and it's really great. Yep, I see you guys. It's really great. You know, people share their stories. Sometimes they do a debt-free scream. Sometimes they just want to, you know, take pictures and get a book signed. And I love it when people hop on the stage, George, and say, "This show changed my life." I love that. Nothing makes me happier. This show changed my life. And so if this show has done anything for you, if it's a show that you enjoy, if it's a show that would cause you to trek across the country,
that's true,
all the way here to Franklin, Tennessee, hey, make sure that you are subscribed to all of the places where we offer The Ramsey Show. Make sure you're sharing it. Make sure you're clicking that follow, that subscribe button. That does so much for us. It's something that you can do to support that's totally free. It takes almost zero effort except for that, you know, your clicker finger.
That's it.
You got to move that a little bit.
We're not doing a telethon. There's no PBS donation. All we ask is that you do this very easy and free thing. It takes you a second.
That's right. Like, subscribe, share. That's all it is. Maybe it's a text message and say, "Hey, I listened to this podcast today. It was amazing. You would love this." That does so much for us. It also kicks it up in the algorithm so other people can discover life change. And so keep doing that. Keep watching. We're so, so grateful for all of you that have made this part of your normal, regular rhythm. Love it. All right, George, you ready to get into it?
It's showtime.
Yeah, we're going to go all the way to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We got Andrew on the line. What's going on in Wisconsin?
Hey there, how's it going?
Doing good. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you for my call. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Awesome. Well, how can we help today?
So best thing I ever did in my life, I bought a duplex when I was 20 years old. This was about 13 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm trying to figure out, should I leverage or should I pay cash for the next one? I'm not exactly sure. Interest rates going crazy. I don't want to mess around with that. But all in escrow, I'm under $1,000 a month. So I'm not exactly sure what I should do. But I definitely want to get another duplex.
Is the first one paid off?
It's $40,000 left.
$40,000 left. Okay. Can you paint us a bigger picture so we can kind of understand what's going on? So duplex number one, you owe $40,000. Duplex number two, what will it cost you?
In the area, it's looking like $250,000, $250,000 is going to be the minimum.
Okay, so $250,000. All right, and tell us about the rest of your debt. Do you have any other debt? Car loans, student loans?
No debt.
Okay, personal mortgage?
That's it. Just the.
Are you renting right now? Or do you live in the duplex and rent the other ones out?
I live in the duplex and I rent out the other half.
Got you. Okay,
cool.
So essentially you owe $40,000 on your personal mortgage, which also happens to be a duplex. What do you earn?
Yes.
What's your income?
I make about $70,000-$75,000 a year.
Okay.
And you're asking us, should I pay off this mortgage or should I leverage the equity and go get another one?
Correct. That's my biggest decision right now.
Okay. Well, I can tell you, based on your attitude, you're not going to like what we have to say, which is never leverage debt, never go backwards, always pay for investment properties with cash. You probably assumed that. So did you want to call in for us to confirm that, or what was the hope here?
That was basically me asking you to confirm that.
Yeah. Well, the HELOC is going to put you at risk. That's what you were going to plan on doing, is kind of this BRRRR method you've probably seen on social media. I'm going to take out the equity I've built, the home appreciated in value. I'm going to take that money. I'm going to put it into the next duplex and the next one and the next one. You can do that. Right. And some people have success with it, or at least they'll tell you they do on social media. What we have found is that to build wealth with way less risk and way more peace, we move at the speed of cash. And that's what Dave has done. Yes. And that means you might have to get your income up if you want to buy another investment property in the next decade. And we need to get this mortgage paid off, because what if you freed up that mortgage payment to then dump into a savings account or investment account and later on buy that duplex with cash? How long would that take you?
Right. To buy with cash, it probably right now would take me at least 5 years.
Okay. And so what you're saying to me is, hey, I don't want to wait 5 years. I want to do it tomorrow. And you can do that, but I think it's going to increase risk, increase stress, and also decrease cash flow. Because until you free up that mortgage,
it's
not going to help.
What's the monthly payment on duplex number one? Like, what are you paying versus what you earn off of it?
So escrow all in, I'm under $1,000, and then I bring back another $1,000. So I'm literally almost even every single month.
So you're just breaking even. You're not making money?
Well, yeah. I'm not making money.
Okay.
Correct.
Well, then if you're not making money, you're losing it in real estate because of all the risk, the cost, the maintenance, the upkeep. One thing goes wrong, and your plan is now underwater. Now, what you're saying is you're basically, quote, living rent-free.
Yeah, because it's balancing out.
So your expenses are just covered, but there's zero profit involved here.
You'd have to pay it off for you to recoup that $1,000 or you said just under $1,000.
Yep, you're correct.
This all worries me of how little margin you have in this whole game.
What's making you want to go do it again? It's not like you're not like Scrooge McDuck over here. Like, I'm raking in the money on this duplex. I got to do it again. Help me understand.
I mean, I guess I'm 30-ish, just over 30, and I almost $500,000 net worth. I thought this was the best thing I ever did financially, I guess. So,
what would happen if you took that, instead of investing $250,000 in a duplex that you've seen the rate of return's not great? What if you took that same money and just invested it over time in good growth stock mutual funds and earned 8 or 10%?
And that's the thing that I do invest, and that's where I make most of my money, I guess.
Here's where I'm at.
The secret sauce is not the duplex. The secret sauce is living on less than you make, avoiding debt, investing consistently. That's really the key, is your savings rate and getting your income up. It's not the spread on this duplex, and it's not going to be the spread on the next one.
And it's not to say that real estate's not a good place to invest, especially once you hit baby step 6 and beyond. It's a great place to invest. As a matter of fact, I'd love for you to tune into George and Dave's Real Estate Investing Essentials live stream that's coming up. Yeah. The dates on that, George, what are the dates on that?
May 21st and 22nd.
Yeah, I want you to tune into that. The tickets are $250. For somebody like you, I think it's really going to be worth it, so you can see. I mean, Dave is a guru on real estate investing. And I think for you going forward to pick the right type of real estate investments, to purchase it the correct way, I think that is going to unlock a treasure trove for you. So if I were you, Andrew, I would wait to do anything until after you tune into that event. But I can tell you offhand, duplex number 2 is not the move. Based on what the spread that you're making, that's definitely not the move for you. And at the very least, you might consider paying off duplex number 1. You got $40,000 left on it. It might be worth it for you to pay that off. And maybe you end up renting out all of the units and you go move into another residence. I'm not quite sure, but Investing Essentials is going to be definitely the move for you going forward.
Yeah, and Dave has said the deal is really happening on the front end. When you buy that property, you want to buy it at 70-80% of what it's actually worth. The problem is right now in the marketplace, everyone and their mom wants to get the duplex and become the real estate guru. So there's not a lot of deals to be had, and the ones that are, quote, deals might need a lot of upkeep, maintenance, renovations, and we don't have the cash flow for that.
Exactly.
It can break people.
Well, yeah, that's what tempts people to go into debt, and before they know it, the thing that was supposed to be cash flowing for them is costing them money.
And it's another full-time job you're trying to fix it up up yourself and get contractors that are reliable. It's not all, rainbows and paychecks.
Yeah, and just for anybody listening, if you're breaking even, you're not making money. Like that's not, you're not making anything. So
you're just surviving, treading water.
That's right. And listen, you can only tread water for so long before you start to go under. Not to be bleak, but that's the truth. Ooh, this is the Ramsey Show.
It doesn't take a degree in statistics to realize that this one stinks. 93% of undergraduate private student loans are co-signed. So when you're delinquent and drowning in private student loan debt, mom or dad or Uncle Joe is stuck in that financial stress along with you. But there is a way out. Why Refi? Why Refi offers a custom refinancing option with a fixed rate loan based on your ability to pay. And the average interest rate Why Refi offers is 3.9%, which can significantly reduce your monthly payment and decrease your total cost. Why Refi refinances your defaulted private student loans that other places won't touch. And I trust them to help you get out of debt. So don't be another statistic in the student loan swamp. Contact Why Refi at 844-2-RAMSEY or go to whyrefi.com/Ramsey. That's 844-2-RAMSEY or the letter Y, then REFY.com/Ramsey.
The Ramsey Show. Thank you for being a listener. I'm your host, Jade Warshaw. Next to me is George Kamel. He is author of the #1 best-selling book, Breaking Free from Broke.
And you are best-selling author of Money's Not a Math Problem.
Ooh.
I've met my match.
Yes, and speaking of, let me just talk about a couple other books we have coming out. Ken Coleman, Find the Work You're Wired to Do. I'm really excited about this. #1. You hear that? It's hardcover. Hardcover, but a short
opportunity
read.
knocking, Jay. That's what that is.
That's right.
That's your future waiting for you to walk through the door.
Listen, this book right here, this is schwanky.
What's cool about it is it includes his Get Clear career assessments. You get a unique code with each book.
That's right.
And the book then helps you use your unique results to find the work you're wired to do.
That's right.
And so it's a really, really cool product that's coming out. And of course, Rachel's on her book tour right now.
Yep. I'm Glad for Where I Am, which is book #2 in an installment. The first one was I'm Glad for What I Have. And now we've got I'm Glad for Where I Am. She's been on a book tour. She's been in Phoenix, LA, Dallas. Coming up, she'll be in Atlanta on April 27th, signing books at Barnes & Noble. So check out what's going on in your area and get Rachel Cruz to sign your book. I love this book because of what it teaches. It really teaches kids about contentment and being happy for their family and glad for their family and where they are. Love it. Illustrations are absolutely beautiful. If you don't have a copy of this, be sure to pick one up.
Can I call an audible, Jade?
Go ahead.
Atlanta is on April 26th. It's at the Barnes & Noble in Mansell Crossing, 1 to 2 p.m. So
there you go.
April 26th, if you're in the Atlanta area, go to the Barnes & Noble Mansell Crossing and say hey to our friend Rachel.
I love it. And then, of course, we've talked about the Investing Essentials event. That's coming up May 21st. And as a precursor to that, you could pick up Dave Ramsey's quick read, Real Estate the Ramsey Way. That'd be a good one. So lots of great books out there, great authors. We already talked about Breaking Free from Broke. If you don't have a copy of that one, you need to get it because it's this generation's total money makeover.
Oh,
that's what I like to call it.
That people have been saying that, and I appreciate that, and they're cutting up their credit cards because of it, and I will take that.
That's good, George. Look
it doesn't
what
have me on the cover cutting up the cards, but maybe one day I'll lose some hair and we'll recreate it. But I'm not doing the bald cap. I refuse.
Let's not and say we did. All right, let's go to the phone lines. We got Daniel in Syracuse, New York. What's going on, Daniel?
Hey, Jade and George, a pleasure to speak to y'all. How are you doing today?
We're doing great. How are you?
I am doing awesome. And George, gotta say, man, I love the YouTube shorts. And I just sent one to my wife this morning. Killing it.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. How'd she take it? Was it like you dogging her, or was it entertaining?
It was entertaining. Well, she said, no, I know that I'm eating away my money. Like, this is not new to me.
Oh, good. See, usually people send it as like a passive-aggressive, they send my clips as like, hey, you need to watch this. You just start budgeting better, but that's funny. I'm glad you guys are in a good spot.
No, we're both aware of our terrible eating habits. Okay, so my question is, should I buy this house that my grandmother is offering to sell us, even though we are in $70,000 of debt?
Well, tell us more.
Yeah,
what kind of debt is it, the $70,000?
So it's in student loans, about $32,000 of me, $32,000 my wife, and then about $6,000 in both of our cars combined.
Okay. All right. And what's your current living situation?
So income, I make $45,000 a year, which, not very much. I do graduate with my master's in social work in about 3 weeks, and then my income will increase in June to $65,000.
Okay. What about your wife?
She is stay-at-home and just does side hustle for now, like DoorDash.
Okay, and what's she bring in from it? It's worth noting.
I'd say about like $400 a month.
Okay. And that $400 a month, that side hustle, is that because you guys are working super hard to pay off this debt?
We're not working hard to pay off the debt right now just because I'm still doing part-time school and working. We're basically just, because we're new to the program, we're just learning how to live below our means. Like, this is brand new to us, and so far it's been an amazing life change.
Listen, I can validate that. There is a part of just learning how to live on your budget that is almost like a baby step zero thought here.
Yeah.
How are you living now? Are you renters? Did you buy something? Where are you living?
We're living in the house that our grandmother is offering to sell us. So she's giving us a great rent price. It's only $1,000. Yeah.
Okay, so you're renting the house for $1,000, and she has said at some point, if you guys want to buy it, how much would it be?
Not a set price, but just kind of talk with them, probably around $100,000, maybe $120,000.
Okay, why isn't
what's the house worth?
About $200,000. So that's the killer. Like, I know this totally is against the baby steps, but then thinking about the equity, I'm like, I don't know.
Well, is she like, how urgent is this home sale? Is she going to evict you? I mean, what's going to happen? Can you rent this for the foreseeable future?
Right.
We could probably rent this forever. I mean, obviously not, but.
Well, does the deal still stand, 2 years from now? Let's say you guys pay off the debt.
I think it would. The problem is we'll only want to live in it, I think, a max 4 years or so. Because it's kind of small. We're going to want more kids.
Then why buy it? I don't want you to buy a house because it's grandma and it seems like it could be a good deal while you're in debt. That's thing one. And then thing two is I don't want you to buy a house while you're in debt, period.
Yeah.
Does grandma just not need the money that she's willing to take a $100,000 hit?
Yeah, pretty much, it sounds like.
Is she doing real well for herself?
Yeah, they are.
Okay. Well, I would have a conversation with her and say, Grandma, this is so kind. Thank you for the inexpensive rent. Thank you for this amazing deal. We're in debt right now, and we're actively trying to get out. Can we make this deal happen XYZ years from now and while we continue this rent price? Because who knows if her situation changes too.
Mm-hmm. Is she just trying to, here's the question I'm getting at. Is she just trying to find a way to give you guys a $100,000 gift?
I don't think so. I think she's just really kind and is willing to she's not going to make any money on it. She's willing to give us a deal, and if it benefits us. I just don't want to, buy it and then sell it quickly in like a year or two and let that be weird if we just made
That's what
money
I was
off
going to
you.
say.
You know what I mean?
That's why I asked that question, because if she was just trying to give you a $100,000 gift and she doesn't care that much about the property, then if you did buy it after you paid off this debt and turned around and sell it, it'd be no hard feelings. But after you paid off this debt, if you bought this house from her and she gave you this great deal, it could feel weird for her if you turned around and bought it and then sold it in 2-3 years. I don't know. That could feel a little bit weird. Maybe it was something she was trying to keep in the family and give to you guys. I definitely do a little bit more research around that. But either way, you guys are not in a position to purchase a home.
No.
How much money do you guys have in savings?
Pretty much nothing. We've got enough for the emergency fund. I've got enough to pay off this last course in the summer, but that's about it.
Yeah, because my worry is you become a homeowner and then this old house
becomes an old house with
and
a
the
lot of old
HVAC is starting to go and the roof needs to be replaced and you still are broke, and that part really scares me because we get those calls too.
That's real.
So I'm going to move slowly, and yes, you might miss this deal, but I hope it still exists 2 or 3 years from now when you guys are in a better place financially. And I would use that ammo to put fuel on this fire to get out of debt even faster, to be like, next time an opportunity comes up, we're going to be ready.
That's right. Hey, how old are the kids?
We just have one daughter. She's 16 months.
16 months? Okay. Yeah, I'd be, your wife's stay-at-home mom. She's side hustling. If you guys really want to knock this out, I'd be looking for ways that you can pick up side work, that maybe she can extend or start working part-time. I'm not sure what you guys have decided family planning-wise, but you guys, I definitely want you getting off after this $70K of debt. Sometimes with student loans, people think that they can kind of just let it sit there and, you can take one of the government plans and it's not so much on the budget and they just kind of are there as that mess in the closet that you kind of try to hide from yourself and everybody else. So I want you getting after it. Your cars aren't a big deal. You should be able to knock those out fairly quickly. But the goal right now is to get $1,000 saved and knock out this debt with the quickness.
Yeah, set an aggressive goal and go, you know what, 2 years, we're going to do it. What does that mean? $35K a year.
Yeah.
Okay, what is that? That's almost $3K a month. How do we find that?
Christian, let's set them up with every dollar so that they can use the financial roadmap plan so that they can kind of see what their future and their horizons look like for getting out of debt, and they can get some very clear pathways in place. All right, folks, that does it for this hour of the show. We'll see you next time around. This is The Ramsey Show. From the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships, like the one that I have with George Kamel.
So kind.
I'm your host, Jade Warshaw. The both of us are going to be taking your calls for the next hour, so you can give us a call. The number is 888-825-5225, and we will do our best to get you on the straight and narrow. George might yell at you a little bit, but
I don't know if I could if I tried.
He might hit you with the snarky comment or two.
There we go.
A little sarcasm. I like it.
I'll tweet at you passive-aggressively after the call.
There you go. All right, let's go straight to the phone lines. We've got Teresa. She's in Austin, Texas. How can we help, Teresa?
Hi, Jade.
Hey.
Hi, George. How are y'all?
Doing great. How can we help?
George, please don't yell at me.
That should not be anyone's fear. I'm the least intimidating man alive.
Okay, so I am totally new to Dave Ramsey, and we are in baby step 2.
Okay.
I just don't know if I have enough for retirement, and that's what scares me the most right now because I'm 52. My husband is already retirement age at 66, and he is still working full time.
Okay.
I only have a Roth that I opened up a couple of years ago, and it's got about $32,000 in it right now.
Okay.
My husband also has a Roth that he opened up. It's just got $15,000 in it, but he has a 401k at work with
What's that got?
$135,000.
Okay.
And that's all we have.
Okay, tell us about your house.
We have a mortgage. We just refinanced back in 2021
to
a 15-year mortgage at a 2.125 interest rate.
Okay.
And
what do you owe on it?
$177,000.
Okay.
$177,000.
Okay. And what are you guys?
We have
okay, keep going.
Okay. we have a parent-student loan that I have been working on since my student graduated back in 2017, and back in 2018 we started on this repayment plan of $108,000.
Oh,
and I'm
Lord.
down to the last $15,000.
Oh, so you only owe $15,000.
Yes.
So you've been chucking away on
Is that
this.
all the consumer debt you have left, or is there anything else?
Yes, that is it. Like, I just started in November, and we paid off all the credit cards, all the miscellaneous this and that we had, and my husband's truck.
Okay, so you have a decent income. What is the income?
I made $78,000 last year. My husband made $46,000, and my business made about $20,000.
Okay, good. Okay. All right. So what's your question for us today?
Will I have enough to retire? Because I'm 52. I'm so afraid at my age I've passed that mark of the million status.
There's a lot
I
of
don't know if
factors
I'll
that
get
come into
there.
play. And so it all depends on when you want to retire. I think you're going to have to work longer than you want to in order to get there, but I don't think all hope is lost.
I love what I do, so I don't mind working. I can work.
The key here is we need to make sure before that happens, obviously, and you know this, that we clear out that $15,000 of student loans. How quickly do you think you could pay off that final $15,000?
I was thinking we could have it paid off by the end of this year.
Okay.
But if I keep attacking it, like, we could have it paid off by September, October.
I like that better. So
do you have any money right now in savings?
Only my $1,000. We use the rest of it to pay off debt.
Okay. I can give you some hope for now, and then we'll give you the current. Just to give you hope for the future, you're 52.
Okay.
Let's say you work until 67. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So if you, with your current nest egg, it's about $182,000 altogether, all of your accounts, retirement, right?
Yes.
And you contribute 15% of that $144,000 income you have once you're out of debt and have the emergency fund, that's about $1,800 a month. Well, with a 10% return until 67, you would have $1.5 million across those accounts. So to give you some hope, it's not that bleak.
Oh, yay.
But that also means we got to get our butt in gear. We're going to invest 15%. We're going to get the house paid off. Then we're going to invest more. And this is your husband that means your husband's going to be working long after he wants to as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he wanted to just work another couple of years, but he may have to work more than that.
I think he's going to have to work until he can no longer physically work, and even then we're going to find him something he can do.
I think the key for you guys, that magic point to where he might be able to, and both of you might be able to cool out, is when you get this mortgage paid off. Because then, to George's point, you'll have the $1.5 million, and hopefully you both, if Social Security can stick it out, you'll still have that.
Plus no mortgage payment, which lowers your expenses. This is a reasonable. Now, you're not going to be like balling out on private islands, but you're going to be just fine as far as, covering your basics.
That's right.
Okay.
So breathe easy there.
I feel good.
But in the short term, we got to get on a game plan to get rid of the rest of this debt. What happened to the student? Are they working?
She is working. She is married, and both of them have helped pay this off.
Okay.
So we're all paying towards it.
Are they continuing to help?
Yes.
Are they doing well financially? Like, could they clear this $15,000?
Yes. I don't think they can clear it like right now, but like since January, they've been contributing at least $2,800 towards it every month.
Oh,
Okay,
good.
that's good.
Okay, that means this thing's going to be cleared even faster than October.
I'm hoping.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you were my parents and you were calling into the show and I was hearing it, I'd be like, oh my goodness, mom and dad can't retire? I'm going to
pay my student loan.
I'm going to go get a side hustle and take this rest of this loan on myself. But again, the problem with these Parent Plus loans, they're high interest rates. The parents are stuck with them. They legally signed, and the parents now can't retire because they're busy paying off their students' debts.
Right.
And it crushes families. And so I'm sorry you're going through this, but I want to serve it as a warning to those parents who are about to take on those student loans to go, don't do this. The reason the student loan companies make you do a Parent Plus is because they don't even trust your student to take on this money. And they'll give that kind of money to rodents. And so these companies are vile.
Yeah, they're really, luckily you've got kids with a good head on their shoulders and they're going, okay, yeah, I have some responsibility in this as well.
And they're
paying
making good money.
A portion of it, yeah.
Yes, she has contributed from the beginning, so I've been very proud of her for that.
Good. So we know the game plan going forward, knocking out the student loan. We are working hard. Husband too, you guys are not stopping work until this mortgage is paid off, $177,000. And George gave you a light at the end of the tunnel. Listen, $1.5 million at age 67. Is that right, George?
Yeah,
that
when
ain't
she's
bad.
67. Now he'll be much older than that.
He'll be a lot older, so which means he's going to be working for the next 10 years.
And
sometimes
this is the reality of trying to have some dignity in retirement.
Listen, George, this right here, if you're listening to the show right now and you are in your 30s or 40s, this is what you're trying to avoid. This is why we come so hard and go so hard in the paint at folks about getting your debt under control. Stop borrowing money. Start doing the things that set you up for a rich, satisfying life as you get older. Because trust me, you do not want to be 52 and 66 years old calling into this show talking about paying off student loans. Come on now. Let this be the wake-up
Guess
call.
what? That 15-year mortgage, it's paid off in 15 years. So
That's
when
right.
you're 35, you take on the mortgage, by 50, it's
You're
paid
done.
off if you've done nothing else.
Take the advice. Don't be scared. This is The Ramsey Show. You are listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm your host, Jade Warshaw, joined by the very funny, very hilarious George Kamel. He makes me laugh quite a bit during the breaks.
So kind.
Yes,
I paid
George.
her $5 on Venmo for that, and it was worth it. It's worth every penny.
During the break, George was cranking that Soulja Boy, which was very different.
Not a visual that America needed. We need healing, Jade.
We do. Let's offer them healing through the question of the day. How about that? Today's question of the day comes from Stella. She's in Florida.
Here's what Stella has to ask. How do we budget a debt snowball with low income? My husband is a carpenter and a paramedic and earns $60,000 a year. I'm a stay-at-home mom and homeschool our 3 kids to save on school and daycare. We rent a house from an acquaintance and pay about 40% less than the current market. Our only debt is $61,000 in student loans. I signed up for every dollar, but with our current income, we are stretched to even put money on that last debt. My husband has been trying for a year to get a better paying job, and I'm trying to figure out a side hustle I could do from home. If I remove gymnastics and swimming fees for the older kids, as well as reduce our weekly groceries to $150, it would still take us 4 years to pay off our debt. That's bare minimum. No restaurants, no presents, no camping holidays. Is this a reasonable ask for our kids for 4 years? I want to fight this as a gazelle, but it would be so hard for so long while they're young.
Listen, I'm glad that she wants to fight this as a gazelle. Here we're butting up against choices, I think. And it's hard because, you make the decision to stay home and be a stay-at-home mom, which for some people, let's be honest, like what they were earning in the marketplace, it didn't work out for them to have kids in daycare. It was just sucking up that money. It sounds like they have 3 kids. It sounds like maybe some of them are in daycare and some of them aren't. It sounded like she said that they were older kids. I would be looking at this right now from her point of view, and I'd say, okay, I've got to get a side hustle. I think sometimes, George, we hear the language of, I'm looking for a side hustle. It's like, no, decide on one today. Like, decide on any side hustle today. Any money is better than no money, and then you can start, reevaluating and finding what pays more that's out there. But pick up something instantly. That's thing number one, I think. And then I do want to also put this out there because it's just worth noting. Getting out of debt takes time. And even though the average person that walks through the baby steps, they're getting out of this in two years or less. There are people on the other side of that average, like me and so many others, that it takes longer than 2 years. And that is okay. That is just part of the journey. And you do have some options here where you can maybe cut back and increase income. But there is something to be said, and I say this many times, there's something to be said, George, about taking that horse to the Old Town Road and riding it till you can't no more. Like, your income is your income.
And then sell it once you're done.
Yeah. And then when you're done, you're done. But you have to keep riding down the journey. Like, it doesn't there's not an easy button, and it's worth noting that. And I hate to say that because it's hard, but there is part of that when you choose your lifestyle and when you've chosen the debt, that you have to do what it takes to pay off your choices.
Yeah. And as I look at this, I wish we could just look at their budget and see where all this 60 grand is going, because I'm confused how they're barely making ends meet. Now they have 61,000 in student loans. And it triggers me, Jade, anytime I see someone say our only debt, and then they go on to say
nothing.
Some crazy number of debt. Any debt stresses me out, but 61,000 in student loans ain't nothing. And so if I'm her, it sounds like there's only one kid in daycare. Should the older kids have gymnastics and swimming? Kids plural, that's probably 2.
Sure.
There's one left. That's probably the one in daycare. If this is a game of Clue, that's how I deduce that.
I like that.
So I would go back to work if I was her, because if she can make even $2,000 and daycare is $1,200 or $1,500 for that one kid,
that's still money.
She's still going to make more.
That's right.
In net. So I would go out and get a full-time job. I know it's your dream to be a stay-at-home mom, but I'm not okay with it taking 4 or 5 years to pay off this debt.
That's a really good point, George. And feel free to attack me in the comments if you want, but most kids, if you're putting them, listen, I'll give you my numbers. My daughter's in daycare. It's a really good school. It's $1,275 a month. And then when my son, he was in daycare, but he recently went to kindergarten, so that cleared that spot, that other $12,000. So daycare is super expensive. But to George's point, don't forget to reevaluate once one of your kids becomes school age and go, okay, now at this point, like you said, I'm pretty sure that she can earn more than $1,200 a month. I believe that she can earn $3,000 a month if she puts her mind to it. And so suddenly, all of a sudden, she is able to clear some margin on that, and that could be going towards debt. And in those moments, you have to have those hard conversations and say, okay, what do I want more, to pay off this debt or to stay at home? Is it worth it for me, you personally, to stay at home and have a 4-year debt payoff journey, or to go to work for 2 years and have a 2-year payoff journey, and then you can go back home? And so unfortunately, you can't have it all. Sometimes you have to make really hard choices, but just know that they're temporary.
Short-term sacrifice for long-term gain. And the kids will be okay. I promise you that. But if you can, 61,000 in debt, well, if we can do this $30K a year, it's gone in 2 years. That's $2,500 a month. So the question becomes, how do we find an extra $2,500? That might mean going back to work full-time. Yeah. He continues the side hustle, but it's absolutely doable, and this is reality. We see it on the debt-free stage all the time.
That's right. Yeah. Temporary sacrifice. That's what we're talking about. Let's go to Jim. He's in Phoenix, Arizona. Jim, what's going on in your world?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
We're doing good. How can we help?
Hey, so I had a question. My wife and I started a small business about 9 years ago, in the middle of, I guess, all of our baby steps. We're currently on baby step 6, just paying off the mortgage on our house. But as we've grown our business, it's grown quite a bit over the past 9 years, and we're kind of at this point where we bootstrapped it from the beginning. So basically all the financial backing for the business is us. So they kind of seem very intertwined, our personal finances versus the business finances.
Yeah.
What would be your guys' recommendation on prioritizing paying off your house or taking that money? Because we're at a point now with our business where we need to build onto our current building for an expansion. We're outgrowing the current building that we're in. And so we need money to grow the business, because we are limited and capped with our current size of the building. We're in manufacturing, so the square footage kind of equates to output.
Sure.
So my wife and I are kind of going back and forth. Do we try to cash flow this expansion, which could be from $500,000 to $700,000 building addition, or do you take that money, pay off your debt, but that's going to delay the growth of the business? If there's,
is there any other option? Could you lease in the meantime? You continue to pay yourselves what you're paying yourselves, and put the extra in a separate fund?
And so we've talked about that too. And so we're in manufacturing and fulfillment. So we make products that we sell to consumers. And so the idea of moving our fulfillment offsite, but there's a lot of logistic issues with that.
How quickly could you save up $500K to do this expansion?
We could do it now. It's just depending on how big of a nest egg do we want. And that's always my personal struggle too, because with payroll, we have roughly 70 employees. Our business is somewhat cyclical, so we have, in the fall, very busy, in the spring, slower, so I'm probably a little
By nest egg, do you mean the business savings account?
So you have $500,000 in retained earnings?
Yes.
Great. And so you were thinking about, hey, we can tap into that retained earnings and increase our payroll, or we can use it for this.
So the question is, we could take that money. Could we pay off our house today with that retained earnings? Yes. I sometimes like to keep that in the retained earnings. We have it in a money market account. It's just I call it like our 3 to 6 months savings for the business.
Yeah.
Because there's slow seasons, but we're just constantly growing. So it's kind of like, we want that money liquid in case we do need to dip into it.
I would let business stay business.
I would too.
Use your money you're paying yourselves to cover the mortgage. And if that means paying yourselves more or waiting for this expansion to be done, I'm okay slowing down the home payoff process.
I am too, especially.
That's my question. If you have enough, I guess you one or the other, initially.
What's left on the mortgage?
To prolong. How much is our mortgage?
Yeah.
$2,000 a month.
And what's left on the whole loan?
Yeah, what's the whole chunk?
$350.
I would just set an aggressive goal and make it a goal to stick to that. We're going to put an extra $2,000 on the mortgage, and then we're doing our business stuff over here, but I wouldn't intertwine them, and I'd cash flow that expansion as soon as you're able to.
I would too. And if you want to pay yourself a couple thousand extra a month and you can afford to do that, that's fine, but you don't have to take the whole chunk. This is The Ramsey Show. What's going on? You are listening to The Ramsey Show. Hey, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I am your host, Jade Warshaw. I'm joined by George Kamel. Now is the time that we get to talk about the best budgeting app in the world. I'm talking about EveryDollar. It is a world-class budgeting app that helps you manage your money the Ramsey way. And I have to say, it's probably my favorite out of all the offerings that we have here, George. I think EveryDollar is my absolute favorite, only because it's just so dadgum helpful.
The EveryDollar app is home screen worthy, and I don't say that about a lot of apps. I don't know how you set up your apps, but I got mine in folders labeled alphabetically. Yeah. EveryDollar stands apart. It's on the front home screen. Right. It's ready to go.
Okay, at first I didn't know what you were talking about, but now I do. Yeah, you do not put EveryDollar in a folder. EveryDollar should be...
You don't hide it under a bushel.
Listen,
let it shine.
On iPhone, where you have the lower level, it needs to be right there on the lower level, the ones that you go to
And if you're
first.
having a problem budgeting, try putting it on the home screen front and center. I bet it'll change it for you.
I know, that's right. Oh, I love EveryDollar. Here's the thing. You can start EveryDollar for free and immediately see where you stand with your money. So if you have questions about, hey, why can't I make any traction, or I can't seem to see where our money is going, or I feel like we make a lot of money but we still feel broke, all of these things can be solved with EveryDollar.
Especially if you're like, my spouse has a spreadsheet. I'm like, listen, if you're the other spouse, you don't want to look at that spreadsheet.
I know that's
Unless you married another accountant. I'm telling you right now, it's not working.
And they don't want you looking. Listen, here's the thing with spreadsheets, George. Whoever made it, they don't want your grubby fingers on the spreadsheet either. They're
I get too nervous. You mess with one cell, and that whole spreadsheet is like abort, crisis.
I know.
Scares the heck out of me.
If you want me to go to sleep and fall asleep instantly, try to show me a spreadsheet, and I'll just fall asleep instantly.
But when you and Sam can just log into the same EveryDollar app and see transparency what's going on, it gives you some peace.
I feel like EveryDollar fills in the communication gaps that are missing between man and wife. Because it's like sometimes you forget to tell your spouse, hey, I went to Publix and, I went to the grocery store and spent $17.29 for them to fill it into the spreadsheet or for them to write it on the paper budget. Like that's a disaster. That's an argument waiting to happen.
Yeah, make it easy.
But
download Every Dollar.
Every Dollar makes it easy. The free version is incredible, especially for people who are really meticulous. They like to go in and put the transactions in. It's a great option for you. But if you're like me and you like it a little bit more streamlined, the premium version is great. You can connect your bank to it, and automatically when you do transactions, those transactions will automatically drop into Every Dollar, and you can categorize them every day, which is a great habit to just keep you on top of what's going on with your money and what you're spending. So if you're new to Every Dollar, we'll show you a long-term financial roadmap. That's also part of premium. You can track your net worth, your debt-free date, your retirement date. That's awesome. Baby steps progress. This is what we need, people. This is what you need in your life. And so as part of that as well, we're proactively coaching you. So we're teaching you within the app also how to build wealth and how to reach your goals. So if you listen to this show, Every Dollar is like the sidekick. It's like the Batman car is the Ramsey show, and like in the sidecar is Every Dollar. You need them both together. That's all I'm saying.
I like that.
The show
I always
is
thought
Batman,
I was the Robin
Every
to your
Dollar's
Batman,
Robin.
but I guess Every Dollar.
Yeah,
I'm the sidecar, I guess. That's fine.
That's Robin. That's what I'm saying. That's what you need. Ramsey show is Batman. Every Dollar is Robin. They go together. That's all I'm saying. Get it today. It's for iOS, Android, or online. That's it. All right, let's go to Abby. She's in Indianapolis, Indiana. What's going on, Abby?
Hi, Jade. Hey, George. Hope you're both doing well. Thanks for taking my call today.
Sure.
I have gotten myself in a huge mess with some debt with mostly credit card and medical. I bought my first home almost 3 years ago, and now I'm deciding whether I need to sell to get myself out of this mess or if there's a way to stay and get out of this.
Well, why don't you tell us about the credit card debt and the medical debt, and we can start to look through it.
Okay, so about $15,000 probably combined. I'd say close to in between 6 and 7 on my credit cards, and the rest of that is medical.
Okay. All right. And what's your income? Is there any other debt, or this is it?
I do have, the house and a car, but other than that, no.
Well, what's the car?
Car's $24,000.
What's it worth?
Well, I'll tell you, this probably about $8,000 less than what I owe on it.
Okay, so it's only worth about 16?
Yeah, in between 16 and 20.
Okay.
All right, and tell us your income, please.
Right at under 46,000. That's just my income from work. Now I do get child support for the kiddos, but I try not to include that if I don't have to. But I've basically had to get into that a lot this year to help with bills for the house.
So on your monthly, how much cash do you see?
So about $2,450 from my check, my pay stub, and about $780 with child support.
Plus another $780. Okay. So, I'm looking at this, and how many kids is it?
2.
And what are their ages?
15 and 8.
Okay. So I'm looking at this, and I don't think that anything's on fire that you would have to sell your house unless it's making up too much of a percentage of your take-home pay. So how much is your mortgage?
So my mortgage is right at $1,235 a month.
Ooh, okay. So that's high for you.
And it's went up. It is. When I first bought the house, I was at about $1,000 payment, but property tax goes up each year, and because my interest rate's great, it's like 2.8% on the mortgage. Mm-hmm. But what's hurting me is, it's gone up every year because of the property tax, and I'm really at a point.
Did you have this house when you were married?
No, I'm single mom.
So you got this house post all of that, and knowing full well that you were making 46 at the time, and still do.
Yeah.
Because this is just a lot. Over half of your paycheck is going toward the mortgage, and so it's not really a shocker that there's not much left to throw at the debt.
Yeah, it's definitely hurting me, and I don't think now that I think back, and I'm like, we tried so hard to get a house. I was working 2 jobs prior to purchasing it, paid off all my student loan debt, paid off some credit card debt I had at the time, and then about a year after I moved in, they started racking back up. And a lot of that was, groceries, things we needed for the house that I didn't have cash for, and it just became too much.
Yeah. Well, if we can't get our income up for the long term, our core income, get that $46K up, this is going to be unsustainable because the debt isn't really the problem. And the house payment, truthfully, isn't that large comparatively to what you would pay in rent. But overall, because of your income, it's really going to be a struggle to make any headway.
Yeah. And it is, because, I mean, all the cards are in collections. I've paid 3 off since the end of the last fall.
Okay.
I paid one off for about $1,800, another $500, and another $400 balance. But, you know, I don't have the money each week. I mean, by the time bills are paid monthly, I'm left with a little over $400, and that's groceries, that's gas, that's household
So if you
essentials.
freed up all of your payments, let's say you took your credit card payment, the medical debt payment, the car loan, what does that all add up to a month?
For you said the credit card. So basically what I'm paying out a month, I mean, I'm not paying anything on the credit cards right now monthly besides on 2 of them. I pay a total of $65.
Okay.
So what I have left between that and all my mortgage payment, car, and other bills, I'm left over with just over $400 a month.
Well, I think part of it is the credit card balance is going to continue to go up.
Mm-hmm.
The interest alone is more than $60.
Yeah, it's killing me. And I don't even know how to tackle those now because
I think the car needs to go.
Yeah. How do I get out of that, though?
You'll need to come up with the difference that you're underwater for. And I wouldn't go to the dealership because they're going to give you tiddlywinks for that car. You need to sell a private party to get the most value out of it and get as close to that 20 as possible. And then you need to come up with the other 4. And that either needs to be a loan from a credit union plus as much as you need to get a beater car for now, or you need to save up $4,000, which is going to be difficult as you're laying this out, saying, I barely have a few $100 a month left.
Do you have any money saved anywhere?
401k.
401k, and that's it? No cash?
No cash.
Okay. What do you do for a living?
I work for an insurance company. I'm a broker service rep.
Okay.
I've been there almost 9 years.
Well, the home is a last worst case resort. So I wouldn't go selling it to get out of this.
I agree, because you're not, honestly, you're not going to find cheaper rent.
It doesn't solve all of your problems.
I've looked for months, and I agree with you completely. That's been the only reason I didn't go ahead and go forward with it, because everything else is going to cost me just as much as I pay now.
The income,
That's
the
A1.
income is the key to unlocking this puzzle.
And then getting out of that car and then tackling the rest of the debt.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, settle that medical debt for pennies on the dollar. Call them and settle it up when you have cash. This is The Ramsey Show. Listening to The Ramsey Show. Our scripture and quote of the day: by the fruit you will recognize them. Do people pick grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? That's Matthew 7:16. Josh Billings said, be like a postage stamp. Stick to one thing until you get there. I like that.
Well, then you get thrown away.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well.
So I don't know. All right. I'll mull on that one for a little bit.
Marinate on that, George. See
it's
if
a single use.
See if it makes more sense
But
later.
I guess that's life. Single use. You only get one.
Hey, okay, there you go.
I'm
George,
going to start making my own quotes.
I feel like you made this a little bit depressing instead of
I just feel like out of all the things you want to be like, I didn't think posted. That wasn't on my bingo card. I'm going to be honest.
All right.
But hey, it's a tough gig picking the quotes for the day. You know, I got to hand it to the team.
What's your favorite quote? I'm putting you on the spot.
Oh, gosh. I usually go verses because I try to, be better than you.
Okay.
Versus a quote. Quotes are man-made, Jade.
That is true.
Scripture is forever.
It's inherent.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what's your favorite scripture?
I've been mulling on Proverbs 13:11. Wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it.
Listen. You
in
hit
my
it,
line of work.
It's hidden in your heart. I like that.
It does something for me for the get-rich-quick bros out there. I'm like, This is why. That's the thing.
I like it.
How about you?
John 10:10.
What's that one?
I have come that they might have life and life to the fullest.
Ooh.
Or a rich and satisfying life.
I like that.
The first part is the thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy, but I have come that they may have life and life to the fullest.
I like the context of it. That helps.
That's good.
Good stuff.
All right, we're just over here talking.
There's our Bible drills for the day. We did it.
All right, hide the word deep in your heart. It will serve you throughout life. All right, let's go to Cleveland, Ohio, where we've got Jordan on the line. What's going on?
How's it going, guys? Good to be talking to you.
You too.
Hey, I have a quick question. I know time's short, but I'll give you a quick rundown. So my wife and I are trying to decide if we should sell our house and just about everything we can in order to pay off all of our consumer debt and then relocate to a different house, a different location, because she is wanting to go from full-time to part-time in order to homeschool our children.
Okay.
And so we're going down to my income. And with my income alone, it'd be almost impossible to keep the momentum going with our debt snowball. Our total debt is around $84,000 consumer debt. What we owe in our home is $119,500 roughly. And then talking with our realtor, we could sell our home for $260,000.
Okay.
So,
and then if you sell the house, you're moving out of Cleveland, and where are you moving to?
So I live south of Cleveland, in West Salem, so in Ashland, Ohio area. So we probably stay in like the Wayne County, Ashland County area, just due to work. For me at least. Is
it at least less expensive?
Yes, it's least expensive down in these two counties.
Okay, so the plan is we want to sell the house, pay off all the debt. We'll have a little bit of money extra. That'll be your emergency fund, I'm guessing?
It would be, so we already have our emergency fund built up to $2,000. And so that would just be our extra money that we could use for like down payment or like whatever we need for what we can.
Well, you need a fully funded emergency fund. So once you pay off the debt, you're going to need 3 to 6 months of expenses for your new location. So that would probably be closer to 10, 15, 20, which would still leave you another 10, 15 on top of that to save up for the down payment. That's your kind of starter down payment fund as well.
Okay.
But I like this plan as long as it's what you want to do anyways. And so selling the home because you want to move is different than selling the home because you want to get out of debt faster.
Mm-hmm. And our main goal is because we want to like have a small little homestead. We're homesteaders at heart.
Okay.
But we live in an HOA now. We have a half acre now. It's perfect for having a homestead, but the HOA doesn't allow anything other than dogs and cats.
Right.
So our eventual goal is to actually buy some land and to start a homestead, but with her wanting to go down to homeschool and slows down that snowball a little bit, we're trying to expedite that. So we even keep around the idea, do we just sell the home and then after the emergency fund is funded and everything's paid off, with what's left, we do a down payment on a chunk of land and then put like a cheap mobile home on it that we could pay cash for and then live in that until we save money to build. We've just kicked around so many ideas and we're kind of like, before we make any more stupid decisions with money,
yeah,
let's call you guys.
I might make this homestead thing, like it might be the 5-year plan, maybe the 10-year plan, I don't know, but we need to get our income up in order to get as much down as possible.
What is your income?
So my income is roughly $70,000 with overtime.
And that would transfer to the new location?
Yeah, I'd keep with the new job. I work pipeline, so I travel all over the place.
Okay.
And she wants to, right now she's still working full-time, but she wants to go part-time. What's she making full-time and what will she be making part-time?
So she is a stay-at-home special ed teacher. So she makes roughly $45,000. And then when she goes down to part-time from the first job that she's looking at, she'd be practically losing a whole paycheck. So we'd be going from $25,000 to $3,000 from her to $12,000 to $15,000.
So it's literally cutting in half.
Yeah.
And the kids, how old are they?
4 and 2.
4 and 2. Can I suggest another option?
Yes, because she's actually listening.
Oh, okay. Hi, wife. Here's the thing. Your kids they're still daycare age. They're not like school age yet. I mean, the 4-year-old, when they turn 5, 6, they'll be going into kindergarten. But there's part of me that wonders if while you have this income, if you just attack this debt and just go crazy and make this kind of a 2 or 3 year plan and say, hey, we're going to go crazy. We're going to pay off this debt with our cash flow. Then when we're good and ready, during that time, we're accruing equity in the home as well. Then when we get ready to sell this house, we're going to get max out of it. And then you're kind of going into this with more money and just kind of with a little bit of grit under your belt. And then the kids will be really school age. Like it'll be time for them to be in first grade and kindergarten and that kind of thing. Have you given any thought to that? Because listening to your situation, if the kids were already in elementary school, I might think, okay, yeah, she wants to get this started now. But you kind of have a couple of years before all of that even starts.
Okay. Yeah, we've kicked around that idea too. It's just, yeah, we've kicked around all 3 of those ideas. We've kicked around. We just didn't know which one would be more financially smart, I guess, because the quicker way to where we can move into a nice because we've looked but not hard, and so we found homes that we could afford that are nice that would sustain us for a period of time until we're able to get there.
Well, the thing is, as far as financially smart goes, you're letting go of an asset that was appreciating, and then you're going to buy land and put a mobile home on it, which goes down in value. And so overall,
that's option B. Option A is live in a suburb with no land and just bank and then just live off my income, save up, and then eventually once they get to make it into that one.
But my point for you is you've got 2 years where you can let this asset that you've already put money and time into, you can let it appreciate more. And it's kind of like, I don't know. For me, I'm like, I've got this asset. I have the ability for it to make more money for me so that when I do go to sell it, I could have a full down payment, not just $10,000 or $15,000.
Okay.
If you sit on this
sell
for 3
anything
years.
as part of your debt, $84,000, are there cars here?
There's one car, yeah. It's her car.
Okay. Is it a lot of your world as far as the value?
Yeah. It's 48,000 of that 80.
Wow. That thing needs to go.
Yeah, she was afraid you'd say that.
That's the golden ticket.
You buried that lead hoping I wouldn't talk about it. Goodness gracious.
Well, that was kind of our
What's it worth?
Because we rolled over negative equity from a truck that I purchased back before I was just being stupid with.
There it is. So what's the car actually worth?
So the car's worth probably 32, 33.
Yikes.
So you're upside down a good 16 grand on this thing.
Yes, sir.
And there's no money saved anywhere. We didn't ask that. Do you have any money saved anywhere?
We just have $2,000 for our emergency fund right now.
Got it. Yeah. Listen, you've got some options here. If you want my opinion is I would sit on this for 2 to 3 more years. I would pay off this debt with my hard-earned income while you've got the 2 good incomes, and you can do this as fast as you want to do it, And then I would, you can give yourself a cutoff if you want to. Okay, by the time Junior gets in kindergarten or by the time Junior hits 1st grade, and that's when we start the homeschool. That's when we turn the key and initiate this. But I would take care of I would definitely do that. I'd work.
Here's the thing, Jordan. Your options get limited when you have debt. And so everyone has dreams, and I want to be staying at home, and I want to go part-time, and I want to have the homestead. But debt limits your options. It's a thief. And I hate that for you, but let that be a lesson to everyone out there that debt is never a blessing in your life. It always holds you back.
I love it. This is The Ramsey Show.